Uh, Hi everyone. So, have you guys, are you settled? Are you comfortable? Yeah? And I want you to take 3 deep breaths. You're going to inhale from your mouth. You're going to inhale from your nose and exhale from your mouth. Take a deep breath with me. Everyone, close your eyes. Three, two, one. And I want you to place your hand on your chest. All of you, everyone, do it. And just say, I am beautiful. And everything is going to be okay. It should be louder. I should hear it. Louder, I have to hear it. I am beautiful and everything is okay. I am gorgeous and everything is okay. Right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ayaz Pasha. I am an architect, an actor. I have been an assistant production designer. I've also written a feature-length film, which I'm currently wanting to direct. I'm pitching it to people. But the more I think about identity, and the more I think about what identity usually stands for, I I feel like these are words that the society has put on us. Does identity only mean that you have to be productive in a capitalistic society to function? So I want to challenge that. I just want to honestly take you through where I've come from, where I'm headed, why am I here, and how am I feeling in this mortal aging body. So this is me when I was a child. My mother loved to dress me up as a girl because she did not have a daughter till then. I have a younger sister later. But I grew up in Hyderabad for most of my life, and I have been eating halim and biryani and sticking around boulders and lakes, which are unfortunately depleting right now. I belong to a family which is basically a practicing Muslim family. My parents worked really hard to get both of us educated, me and my sister. And when I had to choose a sign, I chose an autograph because I knew that one day I'm going to sign on people's sheets. I love the color red. I'm slowly moving towards white. And this is my best friend Vishweshwar, who was also building the speech with me till last minute, who I carry with me everywhere because he's also one of the reasons why I'm here. And apart from that, I also have my pets, which are always their energies that I carry around. I have 3 pets. This is Bagheera, that is Minnu, and that is Brownie. All of them are eccentric. And the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because when we speak about identity in general in a society, is it what we do and not who we are in general? Who we are is so much more than what the society is defining us. And that I want to tell you is what my first learning is. That identity is not what you do to be productive in a capitalistic world. It's what you carry. You're carrying a lineage. You're carrying your mother's blessings. You're carrying your friends' whispers. You're carrying a movie's thought that you've probably just seen. You're carrying a letter that you've written to your lover. You are the love you make. You are the heartbreak that you go through. And all of this is what my understanding of identity in general is. Now I want to take you through what actually authenticity is. Now, authenticity is a word that I heard in Deepika Padukone's interview in 2018 when she was asked a question about what she thinks her lineage should be or what she's going to leave behind in this world. She said authenticity and honesty. And I've been grappling with the idea of what exactly authenticity means. So I grew up in a household where my father, like any other father, wanted me to do a degree, and instead I wanted to do performing arts. And we had a rough patch for a bit, but we eventually landed up on a term where both of us decided that okay, he will do architecture, which is basically where I fell in. And fortunately or unfortunately, I fell in love with the field of architecture. It didn't just teach me about spaces, it taught me about the importance and the integrity of just being in light and in form and being a god of a space, and just it was philosophical, it was cultural, it had history attached to it. If you remember, as a child, I always wanted to do performing arts. I never left that itch in me. And so one of my professors called R.K. Shenoy, who has a theatre group in Hyderabad called Ramanon, he conducted an acting workshop. And I started doing theatre from my second year of college. So while I was doing architecture, I started doing theatre. What architecture did was it gave me an understanding of the world outside, whereas acting made me realize who I was internally. I was a troubled child, I was bullied in my school, and I was really anxious as a person, but there were these exercises that R.K. Shenoy did with me which opened me up and gave me so much confidence and made me realize these hidden, dark, secret parts of my life. I used to look like this. I have gone through this experimental phase of just straightening my hair and just being experimental with everything that I wanted to do in general. And I think I'm glad that I did that, because that is authenticity. To be able to reach out to something that makes you uncomfortable, something that you think you look better in, and all of life in general, in my opinion, is experiment. And so I feel like authenticity is not necessarily a fixed state, it's a calling. It's this inner voice that you as a person have. As a child, you must have felt that you wanted to be an astronaut, let's say, or you wanted to become an actor, and you wanted to become something else. And as you grow older, the society tells you that you can't be that. And you somehow settle into this structure and the skeleton of what society is telling you to be. But you are the person who's going to break it, because the more you allow this child to live, the more you allow this inner voice to be heard, that defines your authenticity. And slowly I moved towards, and if not for authenticity, I actually would not have left architecture after my college. I started doing set design work under this art director called Avinash Kolla in the Telugu film industry. I've worked for 4 or 5 years on set, hoping that one day I'll get to be on the big screen, with big actors. But I've been constantly told that I either do not have the face for it, or I don't have the height for it. And I've gone through the grind of just becoming an actor. One day I decided to leave Hyderabad. I did not know how to move forward in that city. And from there comes my third teaching. This is me. I used to sit on a boulder near my office, and I would cry my heart out, not being able to be an actor. And from there I understood that you need to know the right time to leave a place. Because when you leave a place, not just places or cities, but when you leave relationships, when you leave habits, is when you're also going to do something which is extremely ingrained to you, what you deserve, what you are going to become. I'll quickly tell you a story about Bombay. When I shifted to Bombay after moving from Hyderabad, I was finding work, and I sat near this cafe in Bandra. And I knew that Zoya Akhtar's office was right beside that cafe. And I was sitting there and I was sketching. And while going back to my hostel, I clicked a picture of her gate, and that's the gate of her office. Her office is on the 17th floor. It's the terrace. And I told to myself that one day I'm going to be here, and I'm going to work here in some form. And you won't believe it that in a month's time, I was actually at her office. I was sitting right in front of Zoya Akhtar. I was working with her as a technician. I was being an on-set person, and in a way, I realized this other thing in my life, which is manifestation. So many of us always have so much going on that I feel in all of our lives there is a certain kind of energy, there is a certain kind of form, there is a certain kind of rhythm that is flowing through all of us. And the more you let out, the more you keep telling yourself that you want to be somewhere, that you want to do something. I am an example that things are possible. I do not have people from the film industry. I come from a minority family. And even devoid of all of that, I was able to sit right in front of her and observe her working. I worked on Made in Heaven season 2. We went to France. We were shooting for the episode which is done in France, if you guys have seen it. And this is the team. There's also Reema Kagati, that's Sally White, who is the production designer of Made in Heaven. And that is me, who's holding her hand. This leads me to a point where, while this is happening, when I was not focusing on acting, when I was focusing on hustling in Bombay, is when acting came back to me. A friend of mine, before leaving to France, he said, there's an audition that's going on in Bombay. Would you want to come? Would you want to tag along? And I said, okay, fine. And I went and I auditioned for the part. This was an open call, and they liked my audition. They gave me a monologue. And this film was back then called Project K. I did not necessarily know how much the length of the part was, etc., etc. 3 months passed by, and I get a call when I'm in France in H&M buying clothes for myself from an AD called Akhil, who has become a dear friend, who said, you've got the part, you're going to work with Deepika Padukone for a week. Would you be okay to work for just a week? And I said, even if it is for a day, I will definitely come, because it's Deepika Padukone. When I think about it, the director of Kalki 2898 AD is Nag Ashwin. If you guys know, he's from the Telugu cinema. He's worked on Yavade Subramaniam, Mahanati. And after seeing Mahanati, I had messaged him in 2019 as a fanboy, saying I would really, really want to work with him. And 2 years later, I was actually sitting right in front of him. That's the first time I did the look test for Kalki. That's my name on the vanity van, and that's him sitting. And again, I genuinely feel for young people who are here that yes, you must have started from engineering, and yes, you must have started from architecture, and you must have started from anywhere, but life is so big, and your dreams are so big, that you just have to manifest and take one step at a time. That is Nagi and me. It's strange that I had sent him a message in 2018, and I was chilling with him, and I was talking to him about cinema at a party at the rap party. And yeah, trust in the power of your prayers and manifestations. Kalki did really well. That's my mother and me with this car, Bujji, which is in the film, if you've seen it. And this was a wholesome moment for me, because my mother was the happiest. Like, she was reaching out to me and she was like, oh my God, that's you on screen and you on screen. I was just, it was a blessing. That day was a blessing. But after Kalki, I thought my life is going to change 360. Like, I'm going to get a lot of offers and I'm going to make it big. But that didn't happen. I was being pulled in some other direction. Unknowingly or knowingly, I started falling in love with the craft of filmmaking, because I started off as an architect, and then I moved on to a production designer, and I was always sitting behind the camera looking at people perform, that it eventually landed up on me that I love filmmaking. So recently, when while shooting for Kalki in 2022, I went to the mountains for the very first time. And this is also when I was going through a lot in my life. I was going through a breakup. There was a lot that was happening. And when I first, I slept in the bus, and when I woke up, I saw the idol of Lord Shiva. I was in the presence of the mountains, and that's me. And just this massive vastness of the sky and the mountains in unison made me understand that there is a presence of Lord Shiva. And that ended up into this film that I'm pitching right now, the film that I want to direct called Parvati, which is about a city dweller that goes to mountains in the home of Lord Shiva to find herself. This is the first page that I've written of the idea of Parvati on the bus. And the ending of it was Parvati is going to go there with her dog Shiro, and she's just going to look at the vastness of the scene. And strangely, the next day when I wake up in the hotel, the terrace of a hotel where I was sleeping, which is basically a hostel, I see that painting. And it's so weird, even when I'm saying this to you, that something that I've written on a piece of paper somehow manifested itself in the form of a visual. And so I'm constantly grappling with this idea of success. And with this, I'm also going to come to the end of my talk, that we all think that success is what the society is going to define for us. When I was also coming to the university, there were these hoardings that had square footages, and there were these happy people who are couples, and you have like smooth finishes, etc. But I think that's a very single dimension of understanding what success is. In my opinion, success is shared. It is with community, it is with people who are surrounding you. It is in the prayer of your mother, it is in the poetry that you write, it is in the silence of a song that you're singing and suddenly you get lost. And for me, success is all of these people who I have grown up with, who are my friends, who have stuck with me, and they are people who I carry every day of my life. For me, success is my parents, the exes that I've had, the pets that I've had, that is Akhil, by the way, and this is a trip that I've taken to the mountains. And I feel like I want you also to not get into the rut of understanding that, oh, you want to reach a certain kind of point, oh, you want to reach a certain kind of place. I think success is just in the community that you live in. So, before I end, I used to think that I am in the center of this self and everything around me is happening, which is my immediate circle, which is my friends and my family and etc., etc. But slowly that infographic had changed into this, where I realized that, okay, if I am the whole of self, everybody is a part of me, my family, my ambition, etc., etc. But lately, I am realizing that I have to be a half for me to function in that transaction. I need to know who I am. I need to know my identity. I need to know my authenticity. I need to know what my definition of success is, because everybody has their own definition of what they want to identify as, whether it is your gender, your religion, or your ambition. So whenever you are feeling really exhausted, I want you to do the exercise that I told you in the beginning of the talk. Just take a deep breath and just say, I am freaking beautiful, right? And it's going to be all right. Thank you.